Odwin.
What's good, everybody? What's happening? What's going on? I am here to give you guys a show, a wonderful, extravagant, awesome talk about what's coming soon. I am part of your co host team, The Infinite. I am here with my good old friend, the one and only, still my man, Dan
Is
Estrada. What's good,
what's
man?
up, what's 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 up? What up, everybody? We're here. Like Lamb said, we're talking about all the things coming out in March, all the things coming down the pipeline. There's a honestly, March, I mean, I could be biased for certain reasons, which we'll talk later, but March is pretty bamf, in my opinion. I think I think March is a lot better than I wanted to give it credit for at the beginning of this month. But as we will talk about, I am fairly biased, and I think you know why,
I
and I
do know
think
why.
anybody else might know why. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Do you want to should we just go right into it?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's do
I
it. All
should have
right.
made it
Well,
rainbow.
what's up?
I should have made it rainbow.
Yeah, right. I was
Yeah.
gonna highlight it in a bunch of different colors and like enlarge the text like way larger than everything else and stuff. But I was like, whatever. We know. But anyway, let's talk about it. We'll start with the games. And on March 5th, we have 3 games coming out. We have Fourth Generation Warfare on the PC. We have Murder by Numbers on the Switch and Wonderling on the PC and Switch. On March 6th, we have Murder by Numbers is then coming out for the PC and Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX for the Switch. I believe that's a remake or deluxe edition. I think that's what the DX stands for. I don't think it's a new original game, but I'm not entirely sure. March 12th, we have Overpass coming out on the Switch and Hidden Through Time coming out on everything except for the Switch. So PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Steam. Steam is PC. I don't know why it says that twice. Anyway, on March 13th, we have Artificial Extinction coming out on the PC. We have Dead or School coming out on the PS4 and Switch. We have MLB The Show 20 coming out on the PS4. I believe that's the last PS4 exclusive MLB The Show. And we have My Hero 1's Justice 2 coming out on the PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. And we also have Neo 2 coming out on the PS4. And yes, I see I completely missed something. I don't know how, because it's something I'm very excited about.
Oh,
March
yes.
11th, we have Ori and the Will of the Wisps coming out on the PC and Xbox One. I apologize for missing that. Now, back to where we were. March 20th, we got Animal Crossing Animal Crossing New Horizons on the Switch, and Doom Eternal for the PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Stadia. It'll come on the Switch at a later time. And Doom 64 on the PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. On March 23rd, the first really, in my opinion, the first really exciting VR game comes out. That's Half-Life Alyx, which is kind of Half-Life 3, kind of not. We'll see what happens when it comes out, but that comes out on the PSVR, or rather not PSVR, but the PC VR on March 23rd. On March 24th, we have Bleeding Edge coming out on the PC and Xbox One, as well as Moons of Madness coming out on the PS4 and Xbox One. On March 26th, we have the Borderlands 3 expansion Gun, Love, and Tentacles, the Marriage of Wainwright and Hammerlock DLC, coming out on everywhere where you can get Borderlands 3, as well as the Control DLC, The Foundation, coming out on everywhere you can get Control. On March 27th, you have Grand Blue Fantasy Versus coming out on the PS4. You have Lost Worlds Beyond the Page coming out on Stadia. You have One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 coming out on the PC, PS4, Xbox One, Switch. And you have Saints 4 Re-Elected on the Switch. On March 31st, you have The Complex coming out on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. You have Operencia, The Stolen Sun, which is already out on the Xbox. It's coming out for the PC, PS4, and Switch. You have 2 Point Hospital Sandbox Mode and the Super Bug Initiative update coming out for the PC or PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. And of course, you have this game. I don't think anyone's ever heard or played it. I know I myself have probably not, and I'm also lying. It's called Persona 5 The Royal, coming out on the PS4. So, a lot of things coming out. Kind of a few bangers, I must say. A few bangers coming out this month. So, let's start with some. Let's talk about Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX coming out on the Switch. I was not big into the Mystery Dungeon games growing up because they came out in the years where I was not focusing on Pokemon so heavily. I was out of the handheld gaming lifestyle, and they were handheld games, so I was like, not for me. But I did play the demo for it when it released on the Switch, and it seems like a pretty simple roguelike kind of Pokemon game. So yeah, I think that's kind of cool. Um,
It
the next one
is a
we
remake,
yeah
by the way.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I figured as much. That's usually what DX means, but I don't know. I don't remember when the last one came out, so I was just like, I think it's a remake, but I'm just gonna assume it is. But anyway, the next one we have is Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which, if you remember correctly, a couple years ago we played through Ori and the Blind Forest and did a review for this podcast. The sequel has been long awaited. I know myself have, and I believe Lance as well, have been long awaiting the sequel. We've talked about it multiple times, even in multiple E3 episodes. So it's exciting to finally see it come to fruition. I already have mine pre-installed on my Xbox, so when it comes out, I will probably be playing it. It's exciting.
Yeah, I'm not that cool. But
If you have
it
whatchamacallit, if you have
Game Pass?
Game Pass, you can pre-install it. Yeah,
Oh god. See,
that's why
Game
I did
Pass
that.
is so clutch,
Yeah,
dude. Like
yep, yeah. If you have Game
it
Pass,
gives
it's on
and
Game Pass.
gives. It
Yeah,
gives and
exactly,
gives, man.
for sure. I love Game Pass. Like I tell people all the time about how like good Game Pass is, and this is not an ad or anything. I'm not like sponsored by Microsoft. I wish if they
It'd be
want to give
cool.
me Game Pass for free, that'd be great. But I think it's like a really awesome thing. I mean, I don't understand how more people have not like gotten on the Game Pass bandwagon yet. But I feel like it's just a lot of people are not Xbox people.
Yeah, that's just generally what it is. Which, I've kind of always been a fan of Xbox.
I have.
I
I
just
think it's
prefer it.
like very good user interface and good controls and solid multiplayer, like online for the most part.
Hmm.
So I've always been an Xbox guy, but well, since the 360, I guess I didn't get the Xbox OG until like the end of its life cycle. But I like Xbox, and I mean I enjoy everything. But when I play my online games and things of that nature, I prefer to be on the Xbox. Uh,
Easily.
but anyway, moving on. On March 20th, we have a big double header of games coming out with Animal Crossing New Horizons and Doom Eternal. Of course, if you're on the internet and follow any sort of like gaming subreddit or something, I'm sure you've seen all the memes that have Isabelle hanging out with the Doom guy or each of those characters crossing over into the opposite games. Those are always fun. So yeah, I mean, I'm not a big Animal Crossing fan. Those games, they don't really do much for me. I get their purpose, like Animal Crossing Stardew Valley. I get the purpose for those games, and I get the people who like those games. This is not an attack on them at any. It's just not for me. They're just kind of not my type of game. When I play, I like to be doing more. That's kind of a relaxing experience, which is fair and great. But I probably won't be getting New Horizon. But just the mere existence of it, I thought was worth bringing up because people have been waiting for a new Animal Crossing game for a long time.
This is
And
true.
last Animal Crossing game that was announced was a phone game, and the one before that was a terrible Amiibo Mario Party knockoff that I don't think anybody played or liked. So yeah, I'm happy for Animal Crossing fans getting a new Animal Crossing title that I'm sure they will sink hundreds and hundreds of hours into. I know my one friend who loves Animal Crossing bought a Switch solely on the hope that an Animal Crossing game was coming out. So now he's a little bit kicking himself because he wished he would have bought the Animal Crossing Switch because that thing's beautiful. But at least he has it and he'll be playing it day one. And then the other thing coming out right alongside it, Doom Eternal. If you played Doom from 2016. I don't understand how there's any way where you're not at least a little bit excited for Doom Eternal. Doom 2016 was way better than it had any right being. That game was so much fun. And this is coming from a guy who does not really care too much for like overly violent or overly gory video games or anything like that, but Doom was just such a badass good time. Like everything about it was so much fun. I played through it actually through Game Pass. I wanted to get it at first, but then it was like, I'll wait, and the price kept dropping, and I was like, whatever. And then I got other things and kind of got distracted. And then when I got Game Pass and noticed it was on there, I was like, this is something I'm 100% playing through. And I did. I loved it. I absolutely loved Doom. Really fun game.
Yeah, I mean, I just know it's good. I did start to play the other one, and then in typical, infinite fashion, I just stopped playing, and there was no good reason. Just,
Hey, life comes at you fast sometimes.
so but I am excited for it, and it really does look good, and it seems like they're taking into consideration that people actually do want it to be hard.
Right.
And
Well, and they delayed it a couple times to make it as good as it possibly can be. So you can tell that like this is going to be a big title for them. So I think it'll be pretty good.
So.
I think they'll do a good job. I know there was like controversies early on, but that's because some people want to get offended about this, and then some people want to get offended that like, oh, that offends you. So like it's a whole thing or whatever. But I'm sure it'll be great. Like I said, Doom 2016 was way better than it had any right being. So this one I see no different. It looks just as good, if not better. I mean, it looks like it plays relatively the same. So that's all I can really ask for, to be honest. And then March 23rd, as I said, we have Half-Life Alyx, which is a PC VR game coming out. I'm very excited as I am getting a VR headset in the near future. I won one from my job, which I'm very excited about. And I'm probably going to get Alyx if it's available for it. So very exciting stuff. Looks like a really cool game. I didn't really care about it because I'm not very big into the Half-Life series. But I watched the trailer and I was like, if this is how this game runs and looks like, this is going to be pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm really interested in how it turns out.
Yeah, I feel like that's a game that I would need to play to like really sink it in. But it
Right.
did look interesting,
And like I said, it feels like the first real like VR game. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to crap on other VR games. Like I love Beat Saber. That game's awesome. There's a lot of cool like other like Super Hot VR is cool, but this feels like the next step, Like this is a AAA title that's exclusive to VR.
Right.
There haven't really been any of those. There's been AAA titles with like VR capabilities or like a VR mode, but this is the first time where I feel like oh man, this is like a big step forward. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think this is cool. It's really exciting stuff. I'm really interested to see what happens with it. So I'm looking out for Half-Life Alyx, and I think you should too. Even if you don't have a VR thing, just kind of keep your ear to the ground and see what it's like. And if it gets relatively good reviews, maybe it's worth to start investing in a VR setup. Moving on, we have Bleeding Edge coming out on the PC and Xbox One. I don't know if you got a chance to play the beta when it was live. No, this game is a lot of fun. I played the beta like for a few hours. It's a good time. It's like an Overwatch kind of style game. Most of the classes are melee oriented though, which is the difference. It's like third person. Most of the classes are meleeing rather than shooting, so it has a little bit of a different feel to it to that extent. But all the same, it brings the same kind of like team play fun. I mean, granted, the game modes were different and obviously the maps were very different, but it was a lot of fun to play with friends. I mean, obviously, just like any other team game, it could be frustrating if you get bad team composition or bad players who don't play the game properly. But I'm looking at Bleeding Edge with great interest. I'm excited to see what it brings to the table, and it's I believe another Game Pass game, so I will be having it day one as well.
Wow. Yeah, see.
I mean, that's how
that keeps on giving, man.
The beta was through Game Pass, so I only assumed that if the beta is through Game Pass, the full game would be too,
Yeah, and it looks like an interesting game. I do like Overwatch. It does look really wacky, and that's not to say that it's bad. It's just I don't know. When you make things look wacky, they don't look cool, and
That's
so
fair.
like I don't think the two exist harmoniously. So
I like it. I think it's a good game.
no,
I
no,
definitely
I'm not
recommend
saying it's a
checking it out.
bad game. It really does look fun. It's just
I get it. The
the
art, like,
yeah,
yeah, the art style is a little weird, and a lot of the
yeah,
characters are
yeah,
strange, like the big girl on the wheels. But
right.
I think
So
it all works in the game. Like it looks weird on the outside, but when you get into the world of the game, you're like, okay, I get this. This is cool.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. It's just initially those kinds of things are always a turn off. Like,
Yeah.
and it's not that I don't appreciate the creativity because I do. It's just still kind of a turn off. I don't know what it is. I can't help it. Maybe it's like deep down I don't really like those art styles. That are
Yeah.
just weird for the sake of weird.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
yeah, yeah, it does look like a fun game, and it's very Overwatch esque. And it's like
Yeah.
it's so crazy how dominant Overwatch was that
Right.
like no one dared to create a game similar
Well, I
during
mean,
like its
Overwatch
its
is
reign.
really just Team Fortress 2. If we want to get down to the nitty gritty of it.
Right, and that's very
So,
true too. But because there was
or you
one
could even say Siege is kind of like Overwatch at this point with all the like classes and characters in that game.
a little bit. I don't remember the game that was killed because of Overwatch.
Oh, you're talking about Battleborn?
Yes,
Yeah, but that's because
well,
Battleborn
it wasn't
was.
Battleborn. It was there was another one that was more kind of like Call of Duty ish.
Oh no! You're thinking of Lawbreakers.
Lawbreakers,
I had that
yes.
one too on the PS4. That one was tough. That one was hard. Like it was good. It was a fun game. I totally understand why it died. Because it was really difficult. It was hard to get into. It was hard to navigate and control, and aiming was like very precise. But it was fun. It was good. And they had like by the end of the game, they added like a game mode that was voiced by Justin Roiland from Rick and Morty, and it was really funny, obviously. Uh, but yeah, I enjoyed Lawbreakers. I played like all of the like Team Fortress, Overwatch style games. I always give
You
them a
were
shot.
playing Paladins
Paladins,
too.
yeah, I
Yeah.
love Paladins. Paladins good.
So
I mean, it might not be good anymore. I haven't played it in probably about a year, but they update that game a lot. From what I understand, it works kind of like Smite though, where like the new characters that come out are always fairly overpowered, and then they like as they go on, they adjust them and get them more and more like balanced. But they do that so like people will actually play
buy
test
'em.
the new character rather than them release like a character, and it kind of sucks, but they don't really get any data off of it because no one's playing it, you know.
Oh, that's an idea. I never thought about it that way.
No, I mean that's legitimately why they do it. They've said it before.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what high res does. They'll release a character and they make it slightly strong just so they can get people to play it, and then they can use the feedback they get from that character to nerf it or balance it, or even if it's like a character that people want to play but isn't as strong, they can, do
Make
their thing.
adjustments.
Yeah.
Do you have to buy champions in Smite?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But I in Smite at least, I kind of lucked out. One day on Xbox, it accidentally went on sale for about 15 minutes. The God Pass, which costs $100 for free. Although I've only played Smite like 3 times, I have every single character in Smite forever, which is nice. And Paladins, I also bought the Hero Pass when that game was in beta. It was like $15, so that one's a little bit cheaper than the $100 for Smite.
Right.
But yeah, if I ever hopped on Smite, I have all the heroes.
I thought Smite had like a lot though.
There's a lot. There's a ton. I'm my buddy at work plays Smite all the time. I'm not too familiar with Smite. Like I said, I've only played Smite a handful of times, but he loves Smite. He plays Smite all the time. He doesn't have the Hero Pass. Most people don't, because it costs $100, and I totally understand why anyone would buy it. But for $0, I think that's a pretty good deal.
It's an awesome deal.
Yeah.
Next,
Even if you never play the game.
yeah. Next up, we have Borderlands 3: Guns, Love, and Tentacles: The Marriage of Wainwright in Hammerlock DLC, which is Borderlands. We both
Yeah.
like it. I wish I wish.
Did you play the DLC for
No,
Borderlands
I
2?
still
Yeah, the
haven't
first
beat the
one?
game.
Oh, fair
But
enough.
here's the thing: my wife and my kid are going to a conference, so
Oh,
I'll be a
okay.
bachelor a little while. So I
There you
think
go.
I think I will be able
Nice.
to get it done, and
Nice.
I
Yeah,
even think it'll be over a weekend. So
I beat the DLC, the Handsome Jack DLC. It was really well done. It was really good. It was a lot of fun. Well, good story, good characters, nice callbacks. And I mean, I haven't seen anything on this new one yet. I know they just came out with a trailer like last week, but I haven't watched it yet. Um, but I like Wainwright a lot, and I like Hammerlock a lot, and I'm very excited to see their wedding. So, all everything about this sounds good to me. I just hope it's different than Hammerlock's DLC from Borderlands 2 because that was probably by far my least favorite. But I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt, and I'm excited for it right now.
yeah, I mean, I always like a little bit more Borderlands. I'm
Yeah,
never mad.
exactly.
I'm
And
never mad.
you know, the last thing coming out this month, I won't gush too much. Persona 5 The Royal. Anyone who knows me knows I'm a quite a big fan of Persona 5. I'm a little bit obsessed with it. I do have the most expensive version of the Royal pre-ordered. Uh, Not a brag or anything, but a little bit of a brag, whatever. Big money, big shot money boy, spending all the money on the Persona 5 game. But I am. And I'm very excited about that, even though I don't really have a ton of money, but that's where the money is going.
That's where it
Um,
is, son.
yep, we're investing. We're investing in a good time. Persona 5, great, 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 stylish JRPG. Persona 5 The Royal looks to add upon it. Persona's already over a 100-hour game. I believe Persona 5 The Royal adds maybe 10, 20 more hours of content,
It's a lot.
which includes a new character, a new dungeon or palace, as they're called in that game. And I believe they also add a couple months to the story. So the story changes slightly. They've also added minor things here and there, like there's more places you can go to. There's now team up attacks, which is a thing.
I think
And
there's
yeah, I
also
mean,
an area, a different area you can hang out with your crew.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like more
Okay.
places. That's what I mean by more
Okay.
places you can go to. Um, and I mean, I've been in full hype for that game. I've been playing through Tokyo Mirage Sessions, which um, that game is a Switch game made by Nintendo and Atlas, which features aspects of Fire Emblem and Shin Megami Tensei. Shin Megami Tensei obviously is where Persona comes from. So that game feels like a Persona game, and it is just making me salivate so much for Persona 5 The Royal. Not saying that the Tokyo Mirage Sessions isn't a good game. I am absolutely loving that game. I think it's really fun. I love the whole idol thing. I think the story could probably be a little better, maybe, but all the characters are really enjoyable, and it's a good time had the whole time. And yeah, it's just, I'm really excited for Persona 5 The Royal. I can't say much more.
Boom.
But
He kept it clean. Yeah, I was expecting a little bit more gush.
oh no, yeah, look, I don't listen. People know at this point. They should know. They'll know. And if they don't know, now they know, you know? But yeah, Persona 5, it's the best. It's the GOAT. I I can't say too much, you know? I can't say too much cuz then we'll be here all day. But let's move on to the movies because there's a few movies coming out this month, and let's talk about them. So, first, on March 6th, we have Onward and The Way Back coming out. On March 13th, we have Bloodshot, The Hunt, The Informer, and My Spy, a movie that I thought came out a year ago, but didn't. So here it is. March 20th, we have I Still Believe and A Quiet Place Part 2. And on March 27th, we have the new Mulan reboot, remake movie thing. So let's start with this Friday, March 6th. We have Onward coming out. And this movie looks like a treat. So much, in fact, that I'm actually going to see it on Friday with one of my coworkers because it just looks really fun.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it gives off that hidden gem vibe to me. To where it's like, it kind of looks, but at the end of the day, I think it'll just be a really wholesome experience.
Yeah, I mean
It
it's a
just feels
Pixar
that way.
movie, and for me, my basis on Pixar movies are as long as they're not named Cars, they're worth watching. And this one is named Cars, so We're good. We're good to go.
Oh, all right. We'll accept that. We'll accept that, I guess.
The next one is March 13th. We have a couple. One that I don't know if it looks good or not. I can't really tell, but I'm intrigued enough by it that I might kind of see it if like I read some stuff that make it sound interesting enough. I'm talking about Bloodshot, the Vin Diesel movie coming out.
It looks too cheesy.
It looks very cheesy, but it could be a good cheesy, you know? Like John Wick is a very cheesy movie, but John Wick is a great cheesy, you know?
Yeah,
Especially the first John Wick is all about a dude who's pissed off that someone kills his dog. That's pretty cheesy. That is a ridiculous plot for an action movie.
I mean,
it
that's
was well
that's,
executed.
That's what they say he was upset about, but we all really know why he was upset.
Well, that was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Correct.
But even still,
and so
the premise of it is ridiculous.
Not for a mass murderer, who obviously lives, breathes, and that's how he solves every problem.
You know,
so
Bloodshot is a former military dude who kills people. I don't know. Well, maybe I'll find out. Maybe I'll go see it. Who knows? It's not like the number one thing on my list, but I was like, it looks intriguing.
And then John Wick was one of those movies that never took itself serious. And this movie looks a little serious.
I feel like this movie might not take itself as serious as you think. I think there might be a lot more tongue-in-cheek than it really gives off. For example, one of the main characters is the dude who plays Winston on New Girl, but for some inexplicable reason, he's doing an English accent, even though he's very much so not English. And it baffles me. And that's honestly one of the most enticing things about this movie for me. I'm like, why is he doing this? What is going on? Why don't you just talk like you normally talk? It's not a very convincing English accent. He's just like, "Hey, bruv, mate," and I'm like, "What are you doing here? What? That's not what you sound like."
You know what movie I really like? Well, I'm really excited for. That is not on this list, but I still want to say it out loud. I don't remember what the movie is called because it has these weird shapes. But you know the black dude off of New Girl?
Which one? There's two.
Okay.
The Winston?
I think it is Winston.
That's the one. He's the dude in Bloodshot.
Yes, I think so. I'm not 100% sure, but he's in it. It's like all this reversing stuff. He's like a spy. It's like Remnant or Revenant. I'm about to look it up.
Revenant is the bear movie. Let's see. Lamorne Morris is the name of the actor.
Let's see what
doesn't look
up.
like he's in anything coming out right now other than Bloodshot.
Yeah, it's not out yet, but it looks.
The only other thing is he has something called Desperados coming out in 2020, but there's not really much about that known. You might be talking of Coach, who's the other black guy from Winston, who is Damon Wayans.
What is this dang movie? That Bloodshot is the only one I see. I'll find it later. I shouldn't derail us that way. I'm just super excited for that movie. It's like the first movie that I'm like, please come out. I'm ready to see you.
Fair enough.
I'm ready to see you.
I'm not entirely sure what you're talking about, but if you figure it out, let me know and like send me a link to like a trailer or something, and I'll let you.
I can do that. The next movie is the movie I'm excited about, which is The Informer. It just seems like my kind of movie. You know, some rough and tough dude gets in a bad situation and he's got to get himself out. I imagine they'll be fighting. I imagine there'll be some interesting drama. And it seems like a lot of good acting, in my opinion. You know, they all looked pretty convincing. And, you know, I like that rough and tough vibe. Rough and tough. And then, finally, on March 27th, that Mulan remake is coming out. Now, usually I don't really enjoy a lot of those live-action films, but this one just looks a little bit more legit. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It was just when I was looking at it today, I was like, wow, actually, this actually feels enjoyable, and it just seems to make more sense than a lot of the remakes that have been made before. So this one, it's like, yeah, there's a sensible reason to make it live action versus all the other ones that have been coming out. I'm like, I just don't.
But why?
Yeah, it's just like you can't catch what made it magic to begin with.
Yeah,
like,
you're not gonna strike lightning in a bottle twice, you know?
Yeah, it's just one of those things that I was like,
catch lightning in a bottle twice.
You can't recreate that magic in live action. Like there's a reason why it's an animated
By all
film.
accounts, I heard Jungle Book was probably the best of all of those.
And to some degrees that makes sense, but even still, I'm like,
but I didn't see Jungle. Honestly, I haven't seen any of them. None of them have really looked that great, and it's a bummer because I wanted to see Lion King because that cast is, but by all accounts, it looked like a very lifeless movie.
Aladdin was okay.
That's on Disney Plus. I was thinking about watching that the other day, but I have not gotten around to doing it.
Yeah, we rented it for like $5, and it was okay. It was okay, and it's not even like a knock on Will or anything like that, or Genie.
I'm sure he was fine. It's just not the same.
Yeah, it's just
it's the same, but not. You know,
right?
It's very similar, but it almost feels like you're watching a bootleg version of the original movie.
It loses so much of its life. So right. Genie does all this magic stuff, and like it looking so real, like it just doesn't quite give the same energy. Does that make sense? Like them animating
I mean, like
things I said, look real helps
for Lion King. Like part of the thing that was great about Lion King was the art, was the way the characters looked, was the reactions characters had. You cannot do that with a real life looking lion. At the end of the day, a real life looking lion always just kind of looks like a real life looking lion. It doesn't have it won't make facial expressions. It's just going to look kind of boring, you know? It looks bland in comparison to what you had in the original Lion King, where you're like, you know, you have Timon and Pumbaa who can be witty and weird and do weird things and make their eyes pop out of their head when something scares them or something like you're not going to ever those kind of emotions can't be conveyed in a realistic setting, you know?
And then it takes something and that's supposed to be cartoonish, that is supposed to be kid-like, and then just makes it grown man status. And it's like, we weren't looking for grown man. Well, right. I can't say that because obviously these movies sold like crazy, and there were a fair amount of people who really did enjoy it. But for me, I'm looking for kid-like if I'm watching a Pixar movie that has some slight adult jokes, and you know, I can be happy about, you know, and kind of feel young at the same time instead of being
I said, it just feels the at least Lion King, I can't speak for all of them because I didn't see the other ones, but Lion King feels emotionless, which takes away the best parts of Lion King. There's so much emotion in Lion King, from, you know, Scar killing Mufasa and watching him get trampled, to on the other side you have upbeats like Hakuna Matata, or you have, you know, really sincere and romantic vibes from Can You Feel the Love Tonight, and none of that really works when you're looking at CGI lions that all kind of look the same. Nothing what differentiates anything. It's just oh, okay. And it loses a lot of that emotion when you're not able to kind of see the way the face looks, kind of see the reactions and the emotes that a face might do or a body might do that a cartoon can do that a real life thing should not be able to do, so probably will not in the movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, entirely. And Mulan's, I feel it's going to beat it because most of the characters were human to begin with.
Yeah, the one that's not is not in the movie.
I didn't know that, but
the dragon.
The
dragon's not in it. The Eddie Murphy dragon.
That's tough, man. I don't know if I would have made that decision, but I get it.
I mean, it puts more emphasis on the Mulan character and less of the on the lightheartedness, because that's kind of what Mushu was. Mushu was kind of just like the joke machine, you know?
Right.
So I think it makes it feel more real.
And that could be respectable. I don't know.
And also, it by removing that, a pretty big character in the original movie makes it feel different. All, like just off the bat, even if that's all they did, like that gives it a different feel.
Well, they added a chick, so there was a girl with the warlord, because I don't even remember the warlord's name, but
Right. I know it's yeah. I know what he looks like in the cartoon version. I don't remember what his name is. He's also a boss in Kingdom Hearts like 3 times.
yeah, and he's with a woman sorceress, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
that's actually pretty interesting. I actually like that twist. Like in the movie itself, originally, it's like he's just not seen enough for me to remember.
Mm-hmm.
And like the only thing I thought of was like, oh, he's just a savage, and that was like the only thing I thought I was supposed to take from it. But
My only request is that somewhere in the movie, they don't have to sing it. It doesn't have to be a musical number, but if at least the sound of "I'll make a man out of you" is not used in like the background or something, I will be very disappointed because that song's a bop. We've talked about it before. It's an incredible bop, and it would be an absolute shame if they just completely not use it. It's kind of how I felt like a little bit about the Sonic movie, how they only used Green Hill Zones at the very beginning and at the very end of the movie. Like they're in San Francisco. I wanted to hear like in the background while Sonic is running around, Escape from the City. Like there are so many bangers from Sonic games that they could have just used like the leitmotifs of and made new songs that they just didn't do, which that was kind of a bummer. But so the only one I request from Mulan is "I'll Make a Man Out of You" because that song is so good. It's so good.
on the other hand, if they don't include it, it'll
Then
be like
it's a
its
dead
own new
movie.
movie.
Nope, then it's a dead movie.
Like,
No, it's a dead,
instantly, he's
dead,
like,
dead
no.
on arrival. Throw it in the trash. Immediately delete it.
Oh man! All right.
Even if it doesn't even have to be the song itself. Even if like while she's training, like the dude just says like, "Let's get down to business to defeat the Huns," and I'll be like, I know what he's talking about. He's talking about making a man out of you. I'm into it. Let's do it. Like make some reference to that song because that song is, I think, one of the main. I mean, not the main reason because obviously a lot of people connect with Mulan on all sorts of levels, whether it be like like where you're from kind of thing, or whether it be like a girl power kind of thing, whatever it may be, why people connect with Mulan, sure, whatever. But that is a very iconic song from Mulan, like super iconic, like one of the best Disney songs in a movie that has very little songs, and yeah, I'll Make a Man Out of You's banger. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right. So that brings us to its close. That is what's coming out March 2020. We will be going on a small break as Dan the Man goes through a couple changes, gets moved into his new place.
Might be kind of large break actually.
Yeah.
We just might. I mean, we might come in periodically. Maybe give you the what's coming up for the month things every now and again. Maybe do a movie review here and there. But it's going to be very sporadic as I've got a lot of things going on in the world right now. Moving to a new place in August. So with that, while I'm moving, my parents are also moving. So there's a lot of cleaning and stuff that needs to be done around the house, and a lot of can I throw this away? Can I keep this stuff with everything in my house? So it's going to be a long process, and I've got that going on. I've got work stuff, so I decided to take a step back from the podcast for a bit. I hope you all understand, but this is not like necessarily 100% goodbye. You will more than likely be seeing this face again.
There you have it from the man himself. But with that said, it brings us to a close. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you find something that you like this month.
Buy Persona 5 The Royal. Do it. Just do it. Why not?
Get it done. All right. Do say, everyone, goodbye.
Bye-bye.